So we are going to discuss and go through the answers for the May 2004 mathematical concepts for grade 3. We have been placing a lot of emphasis on the grade 6, but definitely we have to get to our little friends in grade 3 and provide some assistance in terms of working out answers. And so this is what we are doing in this particular video. We're just going to go through a paper for the grade 3, and it's 2004 mathematical concepts. Okay, so moving right into our questions. The first question asks us to write the number that names 995. So the question gives us the number in word form, and we have to write that in standard form. And so here we go. We have a 9 in the hundreds position, a 9 in the tens position, and then a 5 in the ones position. That's 995. The second question, asks us to write the number that is 100 more than 1,000. So basically what we want to do here is we want to just add 1,000. We want to add 100, to the number 1,000. And if you add 100 to 1,000, you get 1,100. Okay, you could set that up as an addition problem, where you put the 1,000 and then you line up the 100 underneath with a plus sign and add them up, and you get your answer. The third question deals with Roman numerals, and it asks us to write the Roman numeral for the number 10. And the Roman numeral for the number 10 is simply X. So quickly we can go through from 1 to 10 our Roman numerals. Number 1 is represented by I, or capital I. 2 is represented by 2 I's. 3 is 3 I's. 4 is IB. 5 is V. 6 is VI. 7 is VII. 8 is VIII. 9 would be IX. 10 is X. And if we wanted to take it one step further, 11 would be XI. Okay, so that's our Roman numerals from 1 to 11, but the question asks us for 10. So this is the Roman numeral for 10 is simply X. Okay, the next question says, write down another name for 100 7 tens and 0 ones. So again, we can look at this in terms of place value, and if we want, well, the best way to approach the question is to start at the ones column. We start at the right and we're moving left. So 0 ones would be a 0 in the ones position. 7 tens is a 7 in the tens position. And 100 is a 1 in our 100 position. We could have very well set this up as a table. And let's demonstrate that for our little friends. We'll insert a table. We'll just put 2 rows and 3 columns. So our first, we want to center those. Let's center. There we go. So this would be our ones column. This would be our tens column. Excuse me. And this would be our hundreds column. Okay, and so then what we would do is we go back to the question, and the question tells us 1 in the hundreds column. Let's make sure this is centered as well. let's make sure that's entered. So that's 1 in the hundreds column, 7 in the tens column, and 0 in the ones column. Okay, and that's the same as what we have here, 170. Okay, on to the next question. Let's just move that, okay. And a lot of these questions right now we're dealing with numbers and number sense. So the next question 5 says, write in standard form, and this is giving us a number in expanded form, and they want us to write it in standard form. So basically what we would do is we would take each of the individual components in this expanded form. So 400, we'll line it up under the 1,000. 20, we next line up under the 400. And 3, we line up under the 20. And then we add everything up. And when we do that, we get 1,423. Okay, now the next question, and what I'm going to have to do here is I don't have all the full question, I just have the answer. So I'll need to pull up the question just so that we see what that question looks like. I went too far. And by the way, you'll be getting videos on all of these answer keys, so don't worry about it at this point if you don't see a specific answer key. They'll all be made available. Okay. So the next question was, look at the numbers and then write down the number where the 1 has the greatest value. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We have 3 numbers. Each number has a digit 1 in it. So we want the number that has the 1 in the highest position. So this number, well, let's start from the front. This number, 316, has the 1 in the tens position. This number, 163, has the 1 in the hundreds position. And then the last number, 361, has the 1 in the ones position. So we have 10, 100, ones in terms of the positioning of our 1 digit. And the one with the highest value of the digit 1 is 163. Okay, the next question gives us some figures, a pattern, and they're asking us to complete, well, what should the fourth pattern look like? So let's look at the pattern here. The first figure has a box with an X and a box that's shaded. The next figure has a box that's shaded and a box with an X. Then the next figure has a box with 2 boxes with X's. And then the pattern starts again. So what should be the first pattern? It's the box with an X and then shaded, right? And then following that, we have the shaded box, then a box with an X. Okay? Good stuff. Okay. Next question. Now we have 3 representations of a number, or 3 ways a number is displayed. We have it in a numerical or a number form, we have it in a word form, and we have it in a picture form. So originally what the question stated was the question only gave you 2 of the forms and you had to fill in the third. So with question A, we were given the number 3 and 3 circles. And then we had to write in the word that is represented by the number 3. We had to write number 3 in words. So that's what we have here. And then for question B, we were given the word 5 and then a box with 5 circles. And so we had to complete the first box by putting in the number 5. And that's what we see here. Now, the next question, question 8, let's go back to this little question box because it's not included. Actually, it's question 9. And it says, what fraction of the set is represented by the unshaded circles? So these are the unshaded circles. They are without color. Okay, so fractions, if you remember, have a numerator which sits on top, and then a line, and then a number that's on the bottom that's called the denominator. So our top number, our numerator, represents the portions of all of the figures, a certain portion or a certain grouping of all of the figures, and then the bottom number represents all of the figures. So in this case, the unshaded circles is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 circles that are not shaded. We put the number 4 at the top. And then the number at the bottom, remember, is all of the circles combined. We count them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 circles in total. So our answer is 4, which represents the unshaded circles, out of 9, which represents all of the circles that we have present in the box. Okay, moving right along. The next question asks us to circle the largest number in the box and underline, not underline, but underline, that should be small e, the smallest number in the box. So if we look in this box, we have the numbers 90, 24, 44, 14, and 20. The largest number we circle, that's 90. And the smallest number we underline, that's 14. And again, we have another box, but this time this box has fractions. So it asks us to circle the largest fraction and underline the smallest fraction. Now with fractions, the smaller the number on the bottom, the larger or the greater the value of our fraction. If our top number is the same, which it is for all of these fractions, once that's the same for all fractions, next when we look at the bottom number, if it has a small number at the bottom, that fraction carries a greater value. So notice this fraction has 2 on the bottom and this one has 12 on the bottom. Now 12 is a larger number, but in this case, 12 on the bottom gives it a lower value, even though it's a larger number. So the opposite rule applies. So here we have a half is the biggest fraction, and then 1/12 is the smallest fraction. Okay, next question. Okay, another fraction question. Write a fraction to tell which part of each figure is shaded. So these are the shaded portions. And how many of those do we have? We have 3 shaded portions. So that number goes on the top of our fraction. That's our numerator. And then how many boxes do we have in total? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that number 5 goes on the bottom. So our fraction showing which parts are shaded is 3 out of 5. And then the next figure, let's pull that up. The next figure is a circle that's divided into 4. Now look at this. All of the sections of our circle are shaded. So the number of shaded segments is 1, 2, 3, 4. All of our segments, 4. And then how many segments do we have? How many quarters are there in a circle? There are 4 quarters. So in this question, both the top number and the bottom number are equal to 4. Okay. And moving right along, we have another question here. Now this question is asking us to write down the number of tens and ones in each picture. So the first picture, we have 4 boxes, and 3 of the boxes have 10 circles. So the number of tens we have is 1, 2, 3, represented by the 3 boxes, each containing 10 circles. That's our 3. And then we have 1 box that has just 2 circles. So that represents our ones. So 3 goes in the tens column, 2 goes in the ones column. So the number, if you have 3 in the tens column and 2 in the ones column, our number is 32. In the next picture, we have some little squares. So we have 2 bars of 10 squares. So 2 goes in the tens column. And then we have 5 individual little squares. So that's 5 in the ones column. So when you have 2 in the tens column and 5 in the ones column, that number is 25. And then in the last figure, we have 4 oval shapes. Each of the oval shapes contains 10 little black circles. So 4 goes in the tens column, representing the number of tens that we have. And then we have no little individual circles. They're all in groups of 10. We have none out there drifting in a smaller number. So in our ones column, we have a 0. So when you have a 4 and a 0 together, that makes 40. Okay. So that concludes our Mathematical Concepts paper 2004 for grade 3 GLAT. If you want more answer keys for grade 3 or grade 6, and that's math, language, social, science, you can go to this website, step-above10.teachable.com/courses/GLAT-workbook-answer-keys. Yes. And you can find an entire array of answer keys there. If you don't have the workbook and you want to go through more practice questions, this is what the workbook looks like. And this book is available in bookstores throughout Nassau. They're available at the Deep South Bookstore, Town Center Mall. You see the number there. Joseph's Bookstore, Soldier Road, Nassau Stationers, Rosetta Street, and coming soon, these books will be available in Book World as stationers. So get the workbook so you can practice, have your kids working in the book, going through sample problems, and then the answer keys are available on the website, completely free of charge. I think it's a super deal, along with these videos that explain how you arrive at the answers. I think it's well worth it in helping your child prepare for the GLAT exam. So all the best, and until the next time, I'll see you then. Take care.